like after that mental breakdown is when I actually went into the world of mental health and became a counselor and a coach, and that's what really kind of opened up my eyes to a whole other world. But also,
hello everyone and welcome to the show. I am your host Sapasala.
hello, oh my god, hello, oh my gosh, I look crazy. Hi guys, hold on, I need to fix the camera. Sorry, I had to set up another video, so I hope you guys can all make it to this one. Sorry, I should put that up slightly. Oh, there is a bit of a thing with my glasses. There we go. If I look down, it might be okay. I'll just wait for a minute so people can join. Oh my god, this is like curly girl hair problems. Like, even when you straighten your hair, it wants to be curly. Hello. Has everyone figured out to come to this video? Sorry guys, technical difficulties. We live in the middle of the countryside, and yeah, we've just been having a few problems with our internet. So I don't look so, oh my god, I'll be disheveled. I'm like on soccer mum duty today, so oh dear, everything's shaking. I've got my tea, by the way. I love how everyone in the chat was like, I think she's probably gone to get a cup of tea. Apparently I'm world's greatest dad today, but I couldn't find my mummy mug, so hi, ¿cómo está? Did I say that right, Mimsy? Driving and heading to the gym. Oh my god, take me to the gym with you. My bestie likes to listen to my live streams, who is Jimmy, who actually, Jimmy really wanted me to mention him. Also, I have multiple besties before my besties will come for me. But yeah, Jimmy likes to listen to me at the gym. So this could be like a new thing. You guys could just, put your headset on and oh my god, I think I just got a message from Jimmy. Is he watching? That's so funny. He got upset with me when I was talking about my OG fans. And he's talking about something else. Right. He's probably going to watch this later. But anyway, I just wanted to say he really wanted me to mention that he is my biggest fan. And yeah, I do appreciate him. And I appreciate all my lovely friends. Guys, I always talk about like especially when you're an ex-Muslim, but just generally in life, like you need your people. And like I kind of, yeah, do you know what? We had a really big bonding experience over, oh my god, why is this such a, I don't know how to, the glare is a bit intense. Maybe if I don't know how to stand or sit even. Sorry guys, there might just have to be a glare so I can see. Or should I just take it off? Then I'll do a lot of this, but maybe I should just do that. I'll just be like, all right, I'm just going to squint, guys. It's going to happen. Anyway, yeah, I was just going to say it's really important to find your people because life is hard and there's so many ups and downs. And I feel like I've had a lot of difficulties. I think my hardest points in my life were probably my childhood, and then around the time, well, it's difficult to like put them all into, but yeah, so different things. And then around the time that if anyone doesn't know, I had like this massive mental breakdown before I started YouTube, actually. So that was a really hard point. And then I kind of felt like after that mental breakdown is when I actually went into the world of mental health and became a counselor and a coach. And that's what really kind of opened up my eyes to a whole other world. But also, I had like dips of moments, like for example, when I was just about to have a baby, I was really worried because if anyone doesn't know, I didn't really have a good relationship with my own mum. And I was raised by a single dad. And I was really scared about being a mum. And that was like a big deal for me. But obviously I've got the most amazing, supportive, beautiful human being that I'm married to, which is my husband. But also, by the way, can you guys hear me okay? But also, these friends like that came into my life, like, you know, Jimmy Bangash and Zara Kay and Ali Malik and Kieran Nawaz. Honestly, they're amazing. And I just don't know what I'd do without them. And like, even just like my like friend Zara and her boyfriend literally flew from Sweden for my son's birthday party. And I was like, this is love, guys. This is love. But yeah, I just think anyway, I'm kind of going on a rant, which has nothing to do with this live stream, but Jimmy was just making a joke, as he does. If anyone knows Jimmy, what he's like, but he was just like, you didn't mention me in your live stream, and I'm like your biggest fan. So apparently he was a really big fan of mine before we became friends, which is really funny. But yeah, so honestly, guys, your people is everything. They will help you through. Like, no one has got their shit together completely 100% of the time. You can have your shit together for like a good 90%, 80%. That's if you're like really, you know your stuff, you've gone through therapy, you've gone through all the journey. But like, whenever you have those dips of like scary situations or a new situation, having your people and that support is like, there's nothing like it. And I just really appreciate the people in my life, those people that I've mentioned, and my siblings as well. And yeah, I would say those are the core people, and obviously, and my husband. So yeah, those people got me through a lot. So anywho, moving on. Hi, people. I hope you guys have made it over here. Sorry about the delay. I asked you guys, what should we do a live stream on? And I kind of wanted to do something like something new, something hip. No, I'm joking, something different. And then everyone's like, leaving Islam. Like, really? Okay. I guess that's what my channel's been about primarily. So I guess everyone wants us to be talking about it still. So hi guys, hi. Sorry, I don't know what language I'm speaking in right now, but okay. Oh, I've already got some questions. Okay. Okay, well, let me see those questions and then I'll get to the questions that I got from Instagram, okay? So what was that first one I saw? If you could, sorry, I don't have my glasses, so now I'm doing this. If you could magically make any current Muslim an ex-Muslim, who do you pick? That's a funny question. That's a really interesting question. Ooh, someone like really, what would be really helpful for the ex-Muslim movement would be someone really prominent, like a big sheikh, like a Hamza Yusuf kind of guy, or like, but to be fair, I feel like a lot of Muslims already disregard him because he's Sufi. They're already like, well, he's not even a real Muslim. Yeah, but somebody, I don't know who, to be honest, there's not a great answer, but somebody, I would just say somebody really prominent in the Muslim world, even like Muhammad Hijab or like Ali Dawah. That would be insane, right? Wouldn't that be funny? So, hello. Why did you name yourself after the South Park character? I didn't, and I found out after that I'd called my channel Mimsy Vids that there was this like reference in South Park, and I was like, oh my god. No, Mimsy was like a nickname I had. Literally one person in my life. Now lots of people call me Mimsy, but one person called me Mimsy, and I was trying to think of all the nicknames I've had. What kind of maybe has a ring to it. But yeah, now everyone just kind of knows me as Mimsy, so that's quite funny. Big up Voodoo. How do I get out of this cult? Tell me, please. Well, I mean, that's a big question. So what do you mean in terms of like, what's your situation? Do you already consider yourself an ex-Muslim? And are you trying to like escape your family? Like, what's the dealio? What's the sitch? Question, where's Vidu? Where is Vidu? Like, where is he right now? Like, he's downstairs. I don't know what you mean. I'm joking. Do you mean on the internet? Honestly, we spend a lot of our time, like our time, I guess, either with the kids, or doing Wayne coaching. So if anyone doesn't know, my husband Vidivids is also a life coach. He primarily worked like with companies. So he was kind of like a corporate life coach. He would come into a company and like change all the systems and everything they were doing, but also help the employees to be better at their job. And he would tailor that to whatever their needs were, basically. So he very much comes from like a life coaching world as well. And now we've kind of joined our sort of specialities, and we have Wayne Coaching, which is our organization essentially. So that keeps us really busy. So yeah, it's hard doing kind of a lot of things, you know, especially with kids. I think when the kids are a little bit older, I think we kind of juggle a bit more. But our priority will always be our kids. So that's why you don't see as much of us. Or Mo Saleh. Who's Mo Saleh again? I feel like I know who that is. Is that guy? Is he like Yemeni? The Yemeni guy? I think I know who you're talking about. Since when did you become the world's greatest dad? I know, right? I've changed my pronouns, guys. Listen, I just grabbed the first mug that I could find. Can you tell us a bit more about your new venture, life coaching? Oh, of course. Let me just take a sip of tea. Also, I love you guys. I love you guys, the ones that know me. I feel so, it's weird. Do you know, sometimes, like, I remember watching YouTube videos, and like when YouTubers would be like, I love you guys, I'd be like, yeah, right. But like now I kind of get it. Like there's this weird connection you have with people that regularly like interact with you even online. It's really strange. It's like I don't know you guys, but I kind of feel, I don't know, I feel the energy, you know? Anyways, sidetracked again. So essentially the main thing that we're doing at the moment is our big workshop. So yes, I am a counselor and a life coach. I really love the life coaching, to be honest with you. So that's kind of more of what we do. You know, counseling is very structured, and there are very sort of rigid rules on, you know, counseling and general therapy, that kind of weekly therapy that you guys might be used to. That's nice if you just kind of want to like have a vent, like a regular vent, which I do as well, with a few people still. But over the years, you know, I've been doing it for a long time now. I know I don't look that old, but I'm kidding. You know, I've been doing it for a long time, and I found that actually the structure that you can give to people as a life coach. So life coaches are a little bit more kind of like, okay, this is your trauma, this is your past, this is what's been holding you back. We break that down, we understand it, but then we create a roadmap. And that roadmap is what a life coach does, and not necessarily a counselor in the same way. And that's what I think is so helpful. And I found that really helpful. And I was seeking that for such a long time. Like, okay, now I understand everything that's happened to me and why I've been thinking this way and feeling this way. But now what? You know? And so the way that we kind of help people is that we give them a structure to their literal life. Obviously, we tailor it to you and your life and what you can do and what you want to do and what your goals are, your ambitions, who you want to be, all that stuff. We kind of actually break it down. It's very, very structured. So it's hard to describe to you, because the workshop is 6 hours over 2 days. And we literally break down every part of your life. It's so detailed and it's so intense. And everyone that's done it feels like it's like 20 years of therapy just in these like 6 hours. So it's very intensive, but you come out of it being like, oh, now I know which direction to go in. Now I know who I want to be. Now I know so much about myself. But the main thing is it saves you that time as well. Like the time that you would have had doing therapy, like week by week by week, over maybe the same amount of breakthroughs you could maybe have in a year. sometimes 2 years, depends on your circumstance. So we really kind of, solidify those things for you in such a short amount of time, which is really helpful. So that's to answer the question about the coaching. Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm going to get through this. Shall I start on these and then okay, let me just quickly, while there's not a lot of people here, let me just quickly go on Instagram, because I've got a lot of questions from Instagram, and I did, to be fair, ask one. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. So actually, one of the questions I got kind of goes in line with what I just said about what we do. And I really think that this person that asked the question, you know who you are out there, I won't say your name, this would be really helpful for you. And I've seen a few of your questions before. I do remember you. And I know, hold on, I've got something come up on my screen. Why does it do that? I do remember you. Thank you for always kind of asking questions and being interactive. Again, I don't want to say your name, but I think it'd be really important. I think it'd be really good to have a chat, actually. So this was her question. How would I know what I believe and what I want? Which you have to kind of think over for a minute. So how would I know what I believe? So it's almost like this feeling like I don't know what to believe anymore. And it sounded to me, and I don't know because I haven't actually spoken to her, but it sounded to me almost like this. A lot of Muslims have this feeling when they leave Islam, is they feel like they need something else, like they have to replace whatever Islam was giving them with something else. And I think it's okay to do that in terms of like maybe like community and like friendships or whatever. But I don't know if you need to replace it in the same sort of way as like a belief system necessarily. I think that there's something beautiful in the comfort of just kind of going on your own journey and finding, what kind of fits with you, rather than quickly kind of like, oh my God, so now what do I believe about death? Let me try and solve this problem, like in this sort of panic. So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of that, but I'm very familiar, and I talk about this in my webinar, which I'll talk more about. But in my webinar, I literally give an example of different sort of toxic families, basically, and different setups of that children are brought up in that cause problems later in their lives. And one of them is when your parents are so involved and there's no boundaries, like as in like I tell my child what to wear, what she can do, if she can listen to this, if she can watch that. And I'm not talking about like a 3-year-old. I'm talking like even when they're an adult child, you're like, the parents are still so involved with what that child does, where that child goes, with everything. And I know a lot of brown families are very familiar with that, right? But what that does is it kind of leaves the people with a sense of like, well, who am I? What do I like? I don't even know anymore. Or maybe I never knew. So yeah, there is definitely a little bit of that, it sounds like, from your question. So what we do with our workshop, which I'll mention the name, I didn't even mention it before, it's called From Survive to Thrive. And essentially in that workshop, I kind of briefly mentioned it earlier, but it's helpful for this, for many things, but for this especially, because we kind of break everything down and then we create, almost like creating a new identity from it, because we understand your trauma, what's been holding you back, what you're triggered by, all the things that are kind of the negative turning points in your life that have affected you. We then go on to this point, okay, but who do you want to be? And what kind of things do you aspire for your life? And what are the goals? All that stuff we map out, as I said. And that is where we go in really deep to find that in you. And so there might be things that you don't even realize. And then actually, because it's so structured, we're able to kind of bring it out, because we have very specific questions. And then we look, I'm not going to go through the whole way of doing it, but basically the way that we do it, we're able to actually bring it out of you, what your strengths are, what the moments in your life where you were like, oh, this is my element, like this is me, those moments will be able to kind of draw out of you, and that will help us to navigate who you want to be, what you want from your life, how you want your life to look. So my advice would be, let's have a conversation, because essentially that's what you need to do, is break everything down and start back up again, rebuild all that foundation. Yeah. Somebody said, how can I support somebody as a non-Muslim who is leaving Islam? That was an interesting question. So this person is a non-Muslim. They obviously have a friend who is leaving Islam. And yeah, I mean, basically, it's kind of like supporting with anything, any sort of transition, any friend that is going some sort of change in their life, whether it be like a, you know, breaking up with somebody, or like, do you know what I mean? It could be kind of similar to many aspects or many other things that happen in your life. So I would just say, being that support system that they can vent to, that they can talk to, but also feeling understood. Because when you leave Islam, you feel really lonely and misunderstood as well. And you know, I don't know the whole situation of this person leaving, so I don't know what their particular struggles are, but I think finding out what their particular struggles are will, you know, just being that person that can listen as well, because that's another thing as well. It's like when you're an ex-Muslim, if you're in a family and a community that's very heavily Muslim, or very religious and cultural, it's very hard to just be heard, like really heard, not just like actually heard, but like just like, okay, this is difficult for you, this is what's going on. Yeah, so just being a supportive friend as you would. I don't think it's any different to anything else, but I think feeling like you know, as I said, feeling understood is a big thing. Sorry, I'm just reading those questions as I talk. Right, so I got a message from Apostate Aladdin, which is funny because like we've spoken like, you know, on WhatsApp, like, so I thought that was really funny that he messaged me on Instagram. So thank you, Apostate Aladdin, if you're watching. I don't know if he is, but yeah, he asked me a really good question, which was, what gives you hope for the future of ex-Muslims? Which is a really good question. So what gives me hope? Let me take a sip. Hold on. I like to drink my tea while it's hot, and it goes really cold really quickly. So what gives me hope for ex-Muslims is where we bloody are right now. I mean, 20 years ago, this wasn't a thing. Like, you know, the internet has created this space, and I think my dad was one of the very first people on YouTube actually that really was talking about this and making ex-Muslim videos. I'm pretty sure he was like the pioneer on YouTube. So I'm very proud of him for that. Although I wasn't at the time. At the time I was like, but yeah, so no, he definitely started that on YouTube. And I really think now, that was what, 10 years ago, more than 10, 15 years ago, something like that. I don't even know, 10, 15 years ago. But now look how many ex-Muslims are on the internet. All like, we're so diverse in how we do things. And what do you mean ex-Muslim? I feel like it, you know, definitely you get that still, but there is so much more people in the know, especially people that are online and kind of in the online spaces, social media, all that jazz. So I just think if you look back 20 years ago, we're in a whole different place, and I just see it getting more and more. And I'm really excited. I think that we are doing what we kind of want to do, which is normalizing the discussion around Islam, normalizing the fact that people can leave. And don't get me wrong, though, there's a lot more work to be done. Like, we're definitely not at a place where it's great. It's just an improvement, right? So we're moving in the right direction. I wish it would happen quicker, but we're definitely moving in the right direction. And I do think it will continue that, just because I think more and more people are doubting as well, because of also the internet, because I think the internet allows you access to way more information than we'd had before. You know, before it was like, oh, my sheikh told me this, so I'm just going to go with that, or like my parents told me this. Whereas now it's like, let me just read it for myself, you know. And then obviously access to all the YouTube channels. So yeah, I definitely foresee good things. I feel positive about the whole ex-Muslim movement. Okay. Someone asked me a question, which I'm so sorry, but I have no clue. Thoughts on Hindu fundamentals and Muslim fundamentals? I don't really know. I don't know anything about that. I'm so sorry. So what is your view on Palestine after leaving Islam? I thought that was an interesting question about the way it was phrased, because it's after leaving Islam. And I definitely think that's a topic that I will come to your question. Sorry, I will look on the chat in a minute. But yes, so when I was a Muslim, I was, very much kind of like Jews bad, Israel evil, and Muslims did nothing wrong, and or as you would imagine, I think, and I think a lot of Muslims still, definitely a lot of Muslims feel this way. Actually, funny enough, okay, funny story, also true story. I literally had a chat with somebody who's actually like a really old friend of mine. I won't name any names, obviously, but just so funny to me. I was having an Israel-Palestine brief conversation, and I knew that they were somebody that I could, it wouldn't get too heated. Sometimes you speak to people and they're like, I'm never going to speak to you again because of your views. And it's a bit like, come on, we can disagree. And, I disagree sometimes with my best friends and with like literally the closest, we could ever be. So I knew this person would be a little bit more like that. But what they were saying was really interesting to me. I was kind of talking about we won't make this a whole Israel-Palestine video, by the way, but just briefly. I was saying that, there were things when I was a Muslim that I didn't know about. Like, I didn't know that money was given to Palestine as aid, and it was used to build a tunnel rather than feed people. I didn't know that, like, the amount of times that Israel's tried to make a treaty to try and, be like, okay, can we just make some sort of agreement? And that those were denied continuously, and that Palestine are just actually refusing to accept Israel as a state. So there were things that I didn't know. It's not even that, like, I was obviously on the side of Palestine, and I think anything that I did think or hear, I just thought was like lies, because Israel are evil and Jews are evil, and that's just how I understood it, to be honest with you. And this person was like, well, that Hamas had built that tunnel. Hold on, this is really funny. Hamas had built that tunnel because the Jews basically told him to do that so that the Jews could be like, look how bad Hamas is. This is why we have to continue to bomb you. So I was like, so even the bad things that Hamas has done is still Israel's fault. I was like, wow. I'm talking to a Muslim person, by the way. And I was like, this is so, like, so there's like Hamas and like basically Palestine as a state, political state, have done nothing wrong. Anything that they have done wrong is also Israel's fault. I was like, this is funny. And then I was having a chat with somebody else, and they were like, oh, they talked about something completely different. And they were like, yeah, all these Israelis, like, they bought these companies and they're like doing this, and it's to do with like another country, not to do with Palestine. And I was like, so everything is Israel's fault. Everything is the Jews' fault. And I guess I didn't think about it too much, but I guess I kind of would have believed that, because Jews are evil, apparently, when you're Muslim. But then obviously when I left Islam, I was like, hold on, we can't think like this. It can't be that black and white. It's not like good, evil. I just don't think it is that black and white. But also, I don't think, in the same way, I don't think Israel's all good. I think they fucked up in many, many ways, and I think they've done crazy shit. But I feel like what we need to do is come to some conclusion, some kind of ending, like something needs to happen. Like, we're here now. Also something I didn't know is that there was a war. That's something I really didn't know as a Muslim, that there was an actual, like, I always used to say, well, Israel took Palestine because Britain, and after the World War II, they gave it to them. Like, how is that even fair? It's not their role to do that. That shouldn't happen. Which, by the way, a lot of countries have that's happened all over the world for many countries, which it isn't good, but it's not like the only one. So I used to say that a lot. And then just happened to be when I looked more into stuff, I kind of realized, that that the Jews were like, well, look, this might have happened, but let's have a war, like a battle, to kind of decide who gets the land. Which again, I don't know if I agree with that either, to be honest with you. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that had happened. Like that wasn't something that wasn't information that I'd had as a Muslim supporting Palestine, that there was like an official war that Egypt and Jordan and like they'd actually helped and supported, and Lebanon as well, and that Israel won. And then they were like, okay, cool, we've won. And they're like, nope, you haven't. Still ours. So it's tricky because the person I was talking to, I was like, they were like, you know, they came and took the land. And I was like, it's kind of like, because they're Muslim, right? So I'm like, oh, it's kind of like Pakistan, right? And they were like, well, kind of, but no. You know, how the amount of people that died in India to take that land. Anyway, I don't want this to be the Israel-Palestine conversation. But here we are. Okay, so a massive question that I got so many like comments and things of is, why did I leave Islam? And I'm like, guys, I made a video on this, but then I thought, you know what? Maybe people just don't want to go back and watch that 40-minute video. So I will summarize as well as I can, because remember that it's really hard to summarize everything. There's a lot of detail. I will try and summarize why I left Islam, essentially. But let me first just, oh, sorry, that mouse isn't working. Let's use it. Let me try and have a look at what you guys are saying in the chat. Hi. Okay, let's have a look. Where are you? Here we go. I think this is where I left off. I think so. What? Okay. Okay, since you left Islam, would you consider Messianic Judaism? No. Why don't you put your glasses on? They look great on you. Oh, thank you. I want to wear my glasses. The only thing is, there's a bit of a reflection, but actually, do you know what? While I'm reading the comments, it might actually just help me out a bit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I haven't got great eyesight right now. Mimsy, so will you coach an ex-Muslim who needs a job but can't apply because of death threats? Oh gosh, where are you that you can't apply because of death threats? And absolutely, I mean, that's part of what we do. We coach people to start their own business, to get their own jobs that they want. But even like, sorry, I'll take this off for a minute. Even like finding the job that you want. Sometimes people are like, I don't know what kind of job I want. So what we do is find out what you would really, and that's like a deep dive into like, you know, what it is you really actually want to do, essentially. Because sometimes, yeah, like I said, you don't know what your passion is, so it's just kind of finding that, because it's there inside of you. We just have to bring it out. Okay, are you still friends with Muslims? Yes, I do have some Muslim friends, not as many as I did, obviously, because I had a lot, but there are a few people. Our relationship isn't necessarily the same, but yeah, I still have Muslim friends. But I'm not as close to them, I have to say, just because, you know, it's well, I suppose a couple of them I am, but it depends on so many things. Because sometimes it can be tricky, especially if they're always trying to bring you back. It's like, they're like, oh, did you hear that, like, this amazing verse? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, B. Have you heard anything from Lubna after your video? Yes, I am gonna be doing a video with Lubna soon. She reached out, actually, which was very lovely, and I just haven't had the time. It's been really crazy over here. So we will be doing a video very soon, I believe. I don't know when she's going to upload it, but we're doing it very soon, which will be fun. So I hope you guys tune in for that. I don't know if it's going to be live, actually. I think she's going to pre-record it and then play it. I think, or then upload it, whatever. Have you heard it? Yeah, sorry, I just read that one. Oh, I didn't put my glasses. It's fine. Yay, one of the world's smartest. Oh my God, you're so cute. Wow. Thank you. Please discuss your experiences of spirituality. Spirituality is a really interesting one. I don't know if I can. Oh, do you mean your okay. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. So just clarify before I go on a tangent and it's not what you're talking about. Oops, daisies. I'm just going to pin a message that I didn't mean to. Oh, you thought I was going to go on a live stream with Libna tonight? No, but I know I didn't mean to book at the same time as her, and then I was like, oh no, I want to watch her live stream. But I did see bits of it in the end, actually. But I'll watch it back. But yeah, we're gonna do something together. It's my fault. It's not hers. It's my fault. She reached out, and I was like, I'm kind of busy. There's so much going on. Also, I was really sick the other day. Anyway, not that you guys need to know. A question: if you only have two choices and you must choose one, which you choose for society? Oh, Jesus Christ's teachings in the Gospel, or Muhammad's teachings in Sahih Hadith? Oh no! The thing is, I don't know if I could do this justice because I don't know the Gospel that well. So I don't know if I could answer that question properly. That's a tough one. My gut is saying my gut is saying Christianity, but only because if you look at Christians compared to Muslims, but if we're talking about the books itself, I feel like I can't answer. But if we're talking about like Christians who like, let's just face it, like they don't follow everything to the T the way that Muslims do, right? So sorry, 1 second. I'll be right back, guys. I just have to get something. Sorry, one sec. Hi. Okay. You guys saw my PJs. Hi. Right, where was I? Now you've left Islam, do you have a new philosophy? If it's like in terms of a religion, then no. Oh, I've got Buddha behind me as well. I just liked that Buddha. I thought he looked really calming and relaxing, and I like to meditate, but I'm not a Buddhist. But if I was talking to my dad about this the other day, actually. I was like, if anything, because he was like, it's nice for people just to have something. And I was like, yeah, but Abrahamic is so restrictive. If anything, the idea of like Hinduism and Buddhism is more appealing because it's so flexible. It's like, it's not, when I think of a religion, I understood it to be like the way Abrahamic ones are. It's like you follow this, or otherwise you go to hell. Whereas Hinduism and Buddhism are not really like that. They're a lot more like fluid, and they're kind of like, I mean, our friend is an atheist and a Hindu, and that's not conflicting for him. You can be an atheist and a Hindu at the same time. So that kind of stuff is really appealing, but at the same time, I'm not like rushing to label myself as anything. I really am open to like, I do a lot of meditation, and I'm really into the whole like chakras thing and that kind of vibe. I'm a little bit of a hippie in that sense. I do really enjoy it, but I don't feel like I need to be like, this is my new ideology, if that makes sense. Were you watching your dad's videos when you were still Muslim? Yeah. So if you guys don't know, sorry, I always assume that you guys just know because I've said it online before. But yeah, basically, when my dad started to upload videos and speak openly about what he thought of Islam, I was incredibly embarrassed. And I also was like, I need to get married, and Waleed's family are gonna be like, is this your dad? And maybe no. The thing is, Waleed, by the way, is Pakistani. So I was already, and I'm not Pakistani. So I was already having to like prove myself, and my parents are divorced, which is a big deal for these types of Pakistanis. Maybe not every Pakistani family, but it's. Oh, sorry, I'm moving my leg and shaking it. Stay still. So I felt like I was already on the back foot a bit. So that was one of my concerns. I was like, Waleed and I want to get married, and I feel like you know, they're just going to be like, nope. And then we're going to have to elope because we're going to get married either way. But I'd really like his family's like approval. So I was so scared about that. So I did make him take them all down. And that was the main thing that he actually took them down at one point. He put them back up later on. But he did take them down at one point because I was like, you're literally going to stop my marriage. Can you take them down? And then he was like, oh, okay, fine. But I also felt like I remember commenting as well and having, it's so funny because those like haters that comment on ex-Muslim videos, I remember commenting and being like, well, you're supposed to see it in this way, and like Allah has blah 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 blah, like Allah knows best, and I don't even know what I said, I can't remember, but that kind of thing, you know. I was trying really hard also to just bring him back and give him the answers that he needed, because I felt like he was just confused. And because my dad had had depression, really bad depression at that time, I just understood him leaving Islam to be down to that, rather than to be this kind of logical explanation that he just didn't agree with Islam. I just kind of, you know, bunged it all together as he's having an emotional mental health breakdown, and this is kind of part of that. So I was kind of also really like, this is leaking out into the public sphere. Can you not embarrass me? Which is so sad as well for my dad. Now, I've apologized a lot to him, so don't worry. But it's so bad because I literally made him feel so bad for doing those videos. And I remember actually sending them to Waleed and being like, can you help me to like bring my dad back to Islam and like help me answer the topics, the questions that he's got? Because also Waleed, even at that time when we were quite young, he was quite knowledgeable about Islam. And I remember him coming back and being like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to come back with. And I was like, what do you mean? So I'm like, okay, so we just need more knowledge. And that's actually a big turning point for Willie and I. We, not just because of my dad, but we both were just people that were very like interested in studying, and we were a bit geeky anyway. So we both were like delving really deep into like finding answers in Islam, understanding Islam, and that was the beginning of the end. Duh, duh, duh. Anyway, sorry. Is your in-law still Muslim? Yes. They are. What do they think of you as an ex-Muslim? They're not happy about it, I'll tell you that. Yeah. To be fair to them, even so, they could have been a lot worse, you know. And I know some stories of just family members being really awful, and they could have been so much worse. I think what's saved us essentially is that they are very cultural Pakistanis, and I think for them culture and religion is kind of the same thing. So it wasn't like, I remember my mother-in-law even saying to me like, oh, there's a whole story, I won't go into it. Basically, I was trying to set up my cousin who's very religious. My family are more religious than their family is or are, because they're not as cultural, whatever. Anyways, so I was trying to set up my religious cousin with a cousin of Waleed's, and I had just found out, I was doing like, you know, there's proper Aunt B, like, let me find you a husband, don't worry, I'll find you a nice husband, don't worry, he's going to be very nice. So I was like, oh, Waleed's cousin, and then I found out Waleed's cousin like doesn't pray, and that was a big deal. Like, we prayed 5 times, okay? You do that. That's part of that. That's the whole thing, okay? So I was saying to my mother-in-law, like, he doesn't pray. Like, my cousin's not gonna, like, she needs someone that does salah. Like, what is this? And she was like, oh, don't worry, it's fine. Like, you know, and my husband doesn't pray. And so they definitely have a more relaxed approach about some things. Like, for me, that was a deal breaker. I was like, I need somebody that prays. So yeah, different perspectives for sure, and they did not like it more so, as I said, because it's a cultural thing. It was more so, they even said to Waleed and I, like, you can leave, you don't have to be Muslim, but don't tell the freaking world about it. Can you just shut the hell up? That was what it was about. It wasn't even about us not being religious. It was about us going online and being like, hi, we're ex-Muslim. Hi guys, we're the ex-Muslims. They were like, beta. So it was a little bit more like that stuff. But to be fair, they've still been like really cool in some ways. We're not gonna go into the deep too much. Oh wow, okay, I've missed so much. Oh, here we go. Will you be voting for the Reform Party? I don't know. Sorry, that's not a very nice answer for you, but I don't know. I need to look more into stuff. Look up Pallywood. What's Pallywood? No idea. I feel like I've been really out of the loop. Do you prefer Feiruz or Kulthum? Oh, Kulthum, definitely. Yeah. Definitely, 100%. I do like Feiruz, but I'm sorry. She's the queen. I like how Israel is an apartheid state because because they don't give Palestinian citizenship. But these same people don't want Palestine to be part of Israel. Okay, I don't know if I'm tired or my brain's not comprehending what that said. I am tired as usual. Hi, don't follow you, but good luck with your future. Oh, thanks. That was really sweet. I love it when people can just give out positive energy like that. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I go American all the time. Guys, I try to stop it when I'm online because my friends told me to stop doing it. But I do it all the time. Like me and my sister. Does anyone else do this? Because I've heard that Americans do a British accent. I've known a couple of Americans back in the day that used to do like British accents, like taking the piss. Like me and my sister, we'll literally call me like hello. Yeah. Like annoying Californian accent. At first, Willie used to get really irritated by it, but now he's so used to it, he doesn't even blink. I'm like, oh my God. So basically, we do that all the time. And sometimes it leaks out when I'm on a live stream. So I apologize, but it's just funny. It's because we watch a lot of American TV. I remember one time I was sick and I spent a whole day. This is like when I was a kid. I spent the whole day watching American TV. I don't know what it was. Like I'm a early 2000s kid, so I was watching like Sister and like Kenan and Kel and like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, all that jazz, right? And I was just literally, my siblings came home and I was full American. I was just like, I couldn't even, my accent was gone. I was like, oh my God, guys, basically. And they're like, who are you? Anyways, true story. Mimsy, another ex-Muslim whose name is Yasmina Ali. She is an atheist, but she dated and married a Jew. They have been together and married for 10 years. Amazing. There's a subtle hint to which religion she would probably choose if she had to in the background. Oh yeah, the Buddha. No, I just really think he's cute. I think I got him from like a pound shop, and I'm not a Buddhist in any way. I just kind of liked him. He's our friend. He's cute. We call him Buds. Buds just hangs out. Sorry if that's offensive to some Buddhists. Anyways, I don't know what's happening in the comment section. I don't know. Why didn't you just remain? I think that's to say Muslim, but be like a liberal, secular, progressive Muslim. That's a really good question, Solomon. A very good question. So why didn't I just stay as a liberal Muslim? The reason, okay, a lot of people do this. They completely, in fact, I know these are the Muslims that I kind of am friends with as well, because they can be friends with me because they kind of agree with me, but then they don't want to be like, I am not a Muslim. They in moments of pain or moments of difficulty or when somebody dies or, really hardships, they can still feel like they have the ability to turn to Allah in that moment and pray and, do the full-on salah. I mean, I know somebody that like literally was drinking and doing everything, and then she was getting a divorce and she was khalas hijab salah, and then she went back to like forgetting it again. So so I know that people need that for many different reasons, whether it be the cultural community, whether it be the emotional reliance and the supportive aspect of religion. But I am somebody, I'm very all or nothing. And I think if you're my personality type, that is a really hard thing to do. I feel like when I was religious, it was my number one priority. If anyone doesn't know, I actually really wanted to be an actress, and that was my pathway. And while I was young, I I almost went into Harry Potter. I don't know if anybody knows that story. I think I told it on here before, lol. But I also kind of breaking the sorry, I don't know why I spoke like that. Breaking the rules. I cheekily, as a teenager, joined this like Shakespeare play company thing, and my dad was really easygoing, so he didn't really care. I don't think he thought anything of it, and but I was kind of not telling everyone in my family about it, and I was really into acting, and I ended up doing acting GCSE and then acting A-level. And when I did acting A-level, I put on my hijab again because I was kind of going back and forth with the hijab for a little bit. And when I was doing the acting A-level, I tried to be like, well, I could be Muslim in hijab and still act, right? So, but I had to then accommodate my plays because I don't know if anyone's done theatre as an A-level, but you do have kind of the creative space to choose your character a little bit more, unless you're doing a fixed play, but we didn't. We kind of made up we wrote the scripts and everything. So when I was doing that, I became an Arab man that had a turban, or I became I had to accommodate my hijab into the role that I was playing, which didn't give me a lot of flexibility. And I very quickly realized as well that I still probably was breaking rules. And I was so sad because actually I, got invited to be a part of, I basically could have gone down I could have been in Hollywood, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think I was going down more the theatre route anyway. But yeah, I mean, I could have been on a whole different path, but I chose to not go down that path because I felt like I'm doing a disservice to my religion. And the truth is, I don't think Islam has a space for women to be actresses. So I chose not to go down that path. And that was a really painful thing for me to let go of, because I was like, this is such a big passion of mine. And I really enjoyed it. And the stage just felt so fun for me. And it was just, it was such a creative space. And like, I was that person that could just, anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into it. But anyway, I am that person that I have to do justice by what I stand by. And I can't hide. Like, I feel like I'm someone that just can't lie. Like if also my friends laugh about this as well, because, and my siblings so much, because it's so true. Like, I can't fake a reaction. I'm just so like, even though I'm an actress, but if I'm a different character, it's different. But if I'm me and I'm not playing a character, I can't lie. Like, I can't just be like, you know what I mean? I can't just be like, oh, anyway, I'm going off the point, but you get it. I can't just be like, oh, I'm going to do this religion and follow this religion and be a Muslim and then do haram. I just can't do that. And I think a liberal Muslim is just lying to yourself. Honestly, that's my perspective on it. You can do it if it makes you feel better, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night because I'm like, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Sorry, that was a really long-winded answer to that, but basically I can't do it. Having a separate discussion. What is this noise? What is happening here? Sorry. I don't know. I don't even know what that noise is, but sorry about it. Anywho. Oh, okay. Right. How did you feel brave? Oh, sorry. Did I miss a question? Oh, sorry. I have missed a question. Hey there, Mimsy. How are you? I'm really good, thank you. How are you? Did you ever use the killing one person as the killing